special guest today, Christine. Hello, Christine.
Hi, everyone.
She is losing her Get Wet with Marla virginity. Woo! Shocking. That's why we're wearing the shocking color of yellow. I love it. I love it. So, you guys, today we have an amazing show. We are talking about age gap dating. This is a very hot topic nowadays. There is a show on Netflix, which actually I helped cast, called Age of Attraction, which is all about age gap dating. But we're gonna get there in a minute. I want you guys to definitely comment, chime in, please. Do not get upset if I don't holler your name and read your comment out loud. I promise you I will get to you. I get to every single comment. I promise, I promise. Christine may even answer some, who knows? But definitely don't get upset if we don't yell out your name. We will reply to your comments, so definitely play along and comment. And if you have questions or anything, or let us know what's going on. The first thing we're gonna start with, again, like I said, today the hot topic is age gap dating. Now, it goes both ways, right? So, I would say, years ago, it started where people were really noticing that men were dating younger women. And you didn't really see a lot of the women dating younger men. Yes, it was so very one-sided. Nowadays, not the case. So let's start off with talking about dating younger men as a woman. Dating younger men. What do you think? Good thing or bad thing?
Everyone has their own personal preference, and that's obvious, so that's really normal. But as a personal preference, dating younger men can be a little tricky. Women mature a little bit faster than men in general. Mm-hmm. Also, I have a lot of life experience. So I think younger men these days are, I don't want to use the word sheltered, but
But for all practical purposes, let's say it's sheltered, okay?
They tend to be a little shocked by your experience, or maybe intimidated, and I don't mean that to come off that way, but in a sense it could be, or maybe I'm reading it wrong. But I feel like the younger generation or younger men maybe not understand exactly or understand an older woman exactly. So I feel like that's never really been a thing for me. In general, is to date a younger man. I've never really been into that. Now, I have had some encounters and some times with my younger boys.
Yeah.
And that's fun. I have a lot of younger guy friends. They're great to hang out with. They're so much fun.
Why not?
That's just a blast. Oh, yeah. They're definitely great people.
Yeah.
And they have the best part about it is because, like I was saying, they have a different viewpoint.
Yeah.
I love seeing different perspectives. I have a great open mind, and I enjoy that. So, if you have something different to say, I want to hear it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I will say, dating a younger guy, especially, for example, I think I'm still 16 years old. Do you know what I mean? I literally live like I'm 16. I'll go out, I'll be on a dance floor. A 25-year-old asks me to dance. Sure, why not? I'm all about it. Let's go. You want to go to dinner? Yeah. If you could afford to take me out, let's go. Sure. But I will say this. It gets tricky. And I'm somebody, and if you've known me for years out there, you know that I am somebody who used to date much older. I was dating significantly older. I would love going to my grandparents' country club and looking around and being oh my God, that guy's hot. And he's 90, and I'm I want him. Is he single?
That's the cute ones. They can have an essence about them.
Yes.
And it's love knows no bounds.
Right.
Which means
it's a connection. It's a chemistry. It's a feeling.
Chemistry.
But I will say, it really probably wasn't until I got married. My husband, I'm divorced, but my husband was younger than me, a little significantly younger than me. Everyone thought he was older than me, but he was younger than me. And I will say that from that point on, I really started dating younger guys, even after we got divorced. I still snuck in some older ones, but I would really go with younger. But I will say the funniest thing, the hardest thing about, I think, dating younger is when you start doing references, movie quotes or talking about songs, or I remember I once said to somebody, I was nobody puts baby in the corner. And they're
what is it?
What is that? And I'm oh Lord, how
Here
old
we
are
go.
you? Because it's who doesn't know that? Dirty Dancing, you know what I mean? But that happens, or when you start singing the line of a song, and and it's it's a Spice Girls song, and they're who are the Spice Girls?
Everybody's screaming in the car, and you've got that one guy
It's
who brought this guy?
Right, it's so funny, but you know, it's weird because when you're younger, when you're in your 20s and when you're in your 30s, you would never think about dating somebody 10 to 15 years younger than you. As me, and when I say you, I mean me as in Marla. This is just my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. But when I'm 30, I'm not looking to go out with a 16 or 17-year-old. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I wouldn't think about that. But you know, once you get older and like the scales start going like this a little bit, it's not unheard of to be a 50-year-old dating a 35-year-old or being, you know, because you're more, it gets a little more even.
You're relevant. I think the older that we get, we're more relevant with both ages. So right when you hit that 30-some and up to 40 to 50, no matter, as long as you're mid-30 and up, you are more relevant. You're relevant with the teenagers, the 20s, so you're relevant to everyone at that point.
But we do not condone dating a teenager. Just know that that is not legal. Not legal. No, don't do it. We just wanted to put that out there. We just wanted to make sure and make that clear.
All intent purposes,
yes.
that's just a no.
Yeah. But you are correct. Like, the older that we get, it becomes everything becomes more relatable. Again, you still won't get the references of like your childhood cartoons, let's say. You know, somebody may not know who the Snorks were unless they were born in your era. You know what I mean? Like, I asked somebody that was much younger than me, and I'm like, oh, have you seen the Snorks? You know, do you remember the Snorks? They were like these, like, they were kind of like Smurfs, but they had these like weird things. You guys out there, do you remember the Snorks? Like, what are some childhood cartoons that you would watch from your era that if somebody was not from that era, they wouldn't know? Because Snorks is for sure one of those. You know, Smurfs, you would still know because they did movies later on, so you would at least know them from the movies if you didn't know from the cartoon. But a Snork, no. What about Fraggle Rock? Do you remember Fraggle Rock?
I remember a teeny bit.
Fraggle Rock, I think,
because of something that I had to go back and watch afterwards. Like, I don't think it was something that was live when I was young.
Right.
But I do remember somebody putting me onto it.
Oh, Fraggle Rock was great.
Like, when you got older, you're like, I've never heard of it. And they're like, if you've never heard of it, you've got to see it. And I was like, at that point too. So I'm like, oh, right. Well, I'm not mad about it.
Fraggle Rock was great. And I think I want to say it was on HBO, but I'm not even sure. But I'm pretty sure. Everybody out there, does anyone remember Fraggle Rock? Was it on HBO or am I just imagining this? I'm pretty sure it was, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I want to preface this saying I could be wrong. But the point is that, you know, a lot of things when you reference things and you're talking about different subjects, it is like, it does change. And you know, especially when you're with somebody who's younger, who, like you mentioned, like, you have a lot of world experience, you have a lot of life experience. Somebody that is, you know, 30, 28, 27, they may not have, let's say, even traveled out of the country at that age. They may not have had, you know, all the life experience that you have had. So when you're talking about these stories and it's just like it's like a blur over their eyes.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You know, you could be talking about anything that's really, you know, a past experience or something funny or, you know, a life experience that you think is kind of funny or enduring that kind of built you or your character. It built who you are.
Yes.
And they have absolutely no clue.
No
what
clue.
you're talking about.
No clue.
So they don't know where to veer from there. So that means the communication just goes nowhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely nowhere.
And then it just turns into like you're having a physical relationship, which could be fantastic. I mean, the young guys, it could be great. But let's talk about that for a second. Because that could get annoying as well. You know, if you're with a really young guy and you are an older woman and they want to have sex all day long like a jackrabbit, you know, like, does that get old? I mean, listen, let me know in the comments. Like, is that something that you would desire? Would you like that? For me, I'll be honest, I don't know that I want to have sex 15 times a day, you know, all day long, this and that. Let's see how long we can go. No, thanks. Like,
honestly, I think that sex isn't only about like that physical and that lust attraction. Like, if you impress me with your conversation and your ability to wow me and amaze me, or that turns me on. And
yes.
Like, I'm a sapiosexual, so like if you're intelligent and you talk to me, like, talk to me. Yeah. Like, I'm not talking about like deep conversations, but like teach me something, like show me what you got.
Oh, hello.
Like, show me.
That could mean something.
I am so there. I mean, just talking about it, it's like, I don't know if I could stay out of the bed if that was the case.
Right.
But I mean, if you really have something like that, then yeah, of course, it's enduring and in so many ways. I don't care if you're this age or you're this age. If you are intelligent and you've got that man like leadership ability, I just think that is something that you cannot go without.
I will say that you are completely correct. However, and I want to bring this up because I do get, besides getting like public comments that everyone can read, especially with this show, I get a lot of private messages asking about, asking me questions and asking me to discuss things that maybe they don't feel comfortable discussing in a public forum, but they want me to discuss it. So it's more of like an anonymous tip. So I am going to discuss this. And in speaking about that, yes, it is one thing to have a relationship with somebody where it's all about the good personality and the great conversation and the communication. It's number one. I agree. But for some young men, the sex is still very, very important. And by the way, I mean, in a relationship, you do have to connect. I mean, there's
that physical attraction.
Yeah,
it is really important.
It is important. You don't want to have like a loveless, sexless relationship. I mean, it's hard to keep it going and stay very strong if you're not being intimate. So I do understand that. But I was asked to talk about like what happens when a woman is older and she's with a man who is younger, significantly younger, who still has that big sex drive, but maybe she's going through menopause or maybe she's having some life changes and maybe she no longer feels as sexy as she once did or wants to be touched like she once did. Like what happens there? And it's a serious topic because it really is terrible to think that this relationship that's lasted for however long.
This person for that long.
Yeah, and now
then all of a sudden you just don't feel like it's there.
Yeah.
I feel like that's in a way, I don't want to say fixable, but women change. Men, we change monthly, like weekly, because that's just the basis of our life. That's the basis of our body. We don't choose it. Right. So not only that.
Yes, I second that. We don't choose it. If I had my druthers, I would not want to go through that. Thank you very much. Okay, continue, please.
I just think that when that happens, there are things that the men can do. Men being understanding, first of all, that's sexy. If you're understanding to her needs and her wants, there's other things that can be done. It's not just the sex, right? So other than that, if you're kind of losing your interest, think about other things that you can do. Start playing maybe some games. Start looking into things that be a little more adventurous, be a little more, playful with one another during the day. That might bring it back. You just have to be there.
It is a problem. It is a problem. And we'll leave it at this and then move to the next thing. But I will say it is a problem. And I have known several relationships to end because of that, which I think is like really sad. But I mean, I will say this. Nothing is wrong with you just because you decide you don't want to have sex at the moment. Like, you're okay. Nothing is wrong with you. That is totally fine. It's at this time in your life. People change. Regardless of whether you're the same age or not, doesn't really matter.
Also, there are always lulls and highs.
Yes.
If he hangs with you, give it a couple months, maybe a month or so. It might come right back.
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
It could be something that just happens and it might be done.
I would say it would be very sad if a person that I was in love with and had been with for a while decided to end it with me because I was going through one of those cycles or periods. Like, I would be devastated, but I would also know that this wasn't my person. This wasn't my right person, because my right person would give me the time to go through what I'm going through and wait for me and like be with me and support me during that. 100%. So it's very important to support your partner. I would say everyone goes through stuff, even men go through stuff. And this is what I want to get to next. The reverse, dating older. Now, as I said earlier, I'm somebody who would walk into the country club and look around and be like, oh my God, I want him, he's 88. I want that guy that's 90, he'll take 72. Like, I loved dating older men. And my thing with older men, and by the way, I don't want to say this is with all older men, and the same thing with all younger men. Like, I don't want to say like all younger men, aren't successful or can't afford or haven't done this and that, because there are very successful younger men and people who have been through stuff. And with older men, I can't say all older men are very successful and been through everything, because there are older men who are not successful and who have not had world experience. But I will say, for me, the older men that I had dated were very successful. And there was something very exciting about being with an older man who could show you the things that maybe I don't know.
We may not have experienced.
Yes.
We don't know.
That's right.
And being with an older man can open up those possibilities.
Yes.
Like, when we talk about people who have that are a little bit narrow-minded or a little bit say, oh, I don't believe that, so I don't want to hear about it. Bring it on. First of all, I want to hear it because even though I may not believe it, I still want to be well educated about it. So if you're well spoken and you can speak about it clear without getting offensive or defensive or offensive or how many offensive there are, I don't know. But I do know that I have the capacity and the patience to listen to what someone else has to say, not get angry or hurt or cry in the corner when I'm upset, because I know that I can hear. And also, it opens your bandwidth. Yes. You're learning more. You're leveling up. And as a woman and as a man, as people in general, we always want to continue to grow up, glow up, and just continue learning and leveling up. That's
especially if you have a partner. Yes, if you have a partner that you can do that with, it is amazing. Now, there are a lot, I think we talked about the pros, and I know we talked about a couple cons of dating younger. Did we talk about the pros? I think the pros is like it keeps you younger, like with a younger guy. You feel younger, it's exciting, they want to do a lot, hopefully, and this
I feel
and that.
Like that can happen with older men as well.
I was going to say.
I think that's a big thing.
That is a big thing too.
Men at any age, especially maybe say 15, 20 years older than you, they want those experiences. They're like, oh, she's young, she's got that bounce, she's got that urge, and they have it too.
And they want you to keep them young.
They have what we crave because they want we have that bounce and we need it now. We want the love, we want the everything, we don't want to wait, and they want that same thing. They want the connection, and they want to, I don't know if it's just not only traveling, but any experience, adventure, travel experiences, like going staycations, vacations, it doesn't really matter. It's the idea of connecting with one. Yes. And then when your personalities connect, your commonalities connect, age is so just a number. And I know that's so cliche to say, but
it is, but like a big pro when you're with an older, because the same thing when a woman dates a younger guy, right? Keeps her younger. When a man dates a younger woman, keeps him younger. Like it brings the age gap tight. Like you don't feel it, right? It's like you really do the same things. However, so that's another pro. Dating an older man, I would say a pro is, going away, having these great things, him taking good care of you, this and that, and, everybody, he has your pep in the step, whatever.
I feel like they also take your considerations a lot more into, maybe not all of them, I don't know, but I feel like they may take your thoughts
some do.
And concerns.
Because they want to feel like, and again, not all men, but some of them do, the older men, sometimes almost they baby you a little bit. Like they put you on a little bit of a pedestal, which by the way, I feel like every man should put their woman on a pedestal regardless of your age.
Don't let the bare minimum be the one.
No,
Don't
the bare
settle.
no. It's pedestal. You have to be put on a pedestal no matter what age you're dating. But, just like the women who when they go through a certain cycle or reach a certain age, they kind of lose a little bit of that sexy time feeling. Men do that too. Right. And a big topic that was sent to me was, what do you do if you have been with a man for so long, he's now significantly older, let's say 20 to 30 years older than you, 20 years, even 15 could be, and he no longer wants to have sex. He no longer wants to do that. And you are still in your prime and you're wanting to do that, do you, just like before saying, the man, does he give up on the woman? Hopefully not. Do you give up on the man?
I feel like no. You definitely aren't going to give up on anyone. I mean, if you really truly love that person and you have that passion and that commitment to them, it's there. But also, be your SO's biggest cheerleader. And I mean that because that's going to give them the confidence. We don't know your love language until we do.
Right.
And then when we do, we're going to be doing those things, and your lust and your sex drive or whatever it may be that you have lost is going to come back. When you have that right woman, she's going to be right by your side, whispering in your ear all the right things, and you don't even have to say who said it. As soon as you speak it out loud, she's not going to take credit for it. She's going to be like, I don't know where he got that from.
Yeah, I know. I love that. But it's, it is a very serious thing because some men, they don't want to do the little blue pill. And when you get to a certain age, you need the little blue pill.
But you rooting them on could be the little blue pill.
Right.
When you have that connection and you start rooting your significant other on, or your loved one, and your passion, it might just fire back up. It's sparked already. You need to blow in it and give it that little gasoline, give it a little ice in the mouth, whatever it may be. There's got to be something there. It might be by words, it might be by acts of kindness. and then they're gonna get that self-love back. When they grab that self-love, they're gonna be able to reciprocate it all the way around the room.
Yes, hopefully. You can only pray. So, I would say, and I know that there was somebody who is really wanting to hear this, the question was, what do I do if he doesn't want to have sex anymore? It's just be supportive. To me, I don't really think sex is the number one thing in a relationship. And being intimate is far more greater than just the act of sex. And
so good.
Right?
That's
I mean,
so good.
yeah.
There's
It's
so
far
many different
more
ways
important.
to say it, but the main thing is if you have two people in a relationship, sex is 80% important if both people, one or the other, are not having enough of it or too much of it.
Right.
It is 20% important if they are both equally happy.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're not going to be upset because if you're getting exactly what you both want, it's really not important at all.
Right.
But if one is getting too much or not enough, then it becomes
that's where it becomes the
bigger
issue.
problem.
Yes. So I would say if you're wanting something more than he can give you at that time, discuss it, by the way, in a very open forum. And I mean open forum, I mean between the two of you. You don't have to go like this on Facebook Live. But
be supportive as well.
Be supportive and just say okay, well, maybe we can try this or maybe we can try that. Again, like I say,
Is
being
there something
intimate.
that can make you more comfortable, that makes you more open.
But being intimate is not just sexual intercourse. And you have to remember that. There are other ways. For example, he may not feel like he wants to do that act and have that release. Maybe he's not wanting that right now. But if you are, there are things that he can do to you and with you so that you still feel that connection, that love, that intimacy without the actual act of intercourse. So just know, never give up. Just because you don't feel like having sex or can't have sex or you can't, whatever, it's not, whatever the case is, there's so many other things and ways to connect.
Right, and that may just be a time frame. We don't know that. And men are or women even, they're if this happens, it must all be over, and now I'm never going to want it again. Give it time, ladies. Give it time, men. Wait it out.
Yes.
Look for that passion. And if you're a man that's lost it, you have to look for it. If you've lost your keys and you don't know where they are, you can't find them if you don't look.
Right, you don't just go and buy a brand new car. But I think in today's day and age, that's what happens.
That's
you know what I mean?
Best thing.
I know so many relationships, especially with when it's the older man and the younger woman. Even though the man's significantly getting older at the same time frame as the woman, the minute she hits a certain age, he wants a younger model.
Swipe.
He wants a younger model.
That's because everything is so easy these days that they can just be oh, this is easier.
It's too accessible.
But the grass is not greener.
No.
Because wherever you fell in love with her for, the other one's not going to have.
I will say oh my God, because we're at the point where we need to wrap this up, which I can't believe because I feel like we barely got to even touch on anything. We just got here. But really fast, I will say the other thing that becomes very important, and we may have to even come back and do this again. We have to have a part 2. But the other thing that is very important, and you need to kind of know this going in before you do start a serious relationship with somebody who is either significantly older or significantly younger than you, is do you want children? Now, I will say, because there's nothing that you can do. If you're a 35-year-old man and you fall in love with a 55-year-old woman and you really want children,
you knew going into that.
Yeah, you knew going into
the
this
conversation, so it's not like you have to bring it up. But on the other verse, then you have to have that conversation.
You have to.
Be open about those things at the very beginning because you're going to save each other a lot of time, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of that drama that you just don't need.
You don't want to enter that knowing that you want children, knowing that she maybe already has children or maybe doesn't want children or can't have children at that age, and think about what is the alternative. Is she open to adopting? Does she want to be a mom with a 5-year-old at 60? Maybe.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. But she may not.
Is
right.
she happy to raise someone else's
It's very
children?
important. Very important. And also the swap. You see a lot of older men with younger girls. They want children. And maybe these men already have grandchildren or great-grandchildren, and now they're starting over. And now you're going to have a child at the age of 80 who's 3, and now what? You know what I mean? So it's just something. It's a big topic to discuss.
Lots
Big topic to
more.
discuss. Oh my God, we have so much to talk. All right, I can't even believe it's time. We gotta move to our game, to our sex ed trivia. For those of you that do not know, at the end of each episode of Get Wet with Marla, we play a little round of sex ed trivia where we have some questions that we ask. Christine today, who's playing for Team Vagini, and you all at home playing for the Peanut Gallery, Team Peony. Don't read my questions. So we always ask questions. It's a little trivia thing. Please write the answers that you're thinking in the comments. We will get to them. We will get to them. And yeah, so here we go. Today we are doing some age gap dating trivia questions. We always try to have questions that somehow go with like the topic of things that like we discussed. So here we go. Let's get started. Okay. So according to popular dating folklore. According to popular dating folklore, what is the formula to calculate the youngest acceptable person you should date? So there's a formula that was created somehow that and you have to try to guess what this formula is to determine what the acceptable minimum age. So you should not date younger than this. This is the minimum age you should date that is considered acceptable by people. What do you think that is? What is that formula? Do you know? People at home, what do you think it is? Christine, any idea?
This is really kind of blowing my mind. The formula thing is throwing me off because I feel like that's just construing and it's very restricting.
It's
like
very
saying,
restricting.
This is what we gotta do.
But it's kind of
your age
it's kind of weird.
minus some number.
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
That's probably some type of formula, or it may have something to do with children. Maybe somebody, as long as they're older than your second child or your middle child. I don't know, right?
Okay, good guesses. All valid guesses. What do you think at home? What do you think that is? Have you heard of this formula? I had never even heard of this formula. So I was blown away to hear that. I didn't even know there was a formula. But it's kind of crazy. I will tell you, the formula is, this is according to popular dating folklore. What is the formula to calculate the youngest acceptable, quote unquote, acceptable person you should date? You take your age, you divide it by 2, and add 7. You should not date younger than that. Take your age, divide it by 2, and add 7. Does anybody out there know that? Is that crazy? All right, next question. We got to try to motor through these. What region in the world generally has the highest average age gap in marriage? This one's tough. I had no idea of this.
Are you saying what state or what country?
But it's any region in the entire world
that has
the highest age gap in marriage. And there's 2 answers that you could say here. What do you think? What do you think at home? What is the highest region? I will give you a big guess. It is not the U.S. Okay? The U.S. is not one of them. So it's somewhere else in the world that has a higher age gap in marriage.
Maybe like China or possibly somewhere in, I don't know, maybe like Alaska or China, somewhere that the population is a little less dense. Okay. So then they don't really have a lot of those options, right?
Oh, I liked the follow through. I liked the thought of why you answered it like that. That's very good. People at home, what do you think? I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to be West Africa or South Asia, with both having an average of over 10 years where the man is older. Yeah, that's crazy, right? All right, here we go. Next, in North America, men are on average how much older than their female partners? So here we go. What do you think? What is the average of how much older men are than women with their female partners? The average years. What do you think?
I'd say around 10 to 12.
10 to 12. You think men on average are 10 to 12 years older than their female partners? What do you think at home? What do you think? How much older are men than women partners here? Like again, this is a heterosexual relationship. How much older do you think men are than women on average in North America?
Or 7 to 10 if you want to be conservative.
Okay. I will tell you, I was shocked at this. 2.2 years. 2.2 years. I gotta be honest. I don't think that I've ever dated somebody my age. I don't think I've ever dated somebody my age, like so close to my age. It's either younger or older. Like it's really, so I found that to be very, very weird. But you know what? These studies, who the hell knows? All right, here we go. Keep going. What is the average age gap in relationships worldwide, according to a 2022 study that analyzed heterosexual relationships from 130 countries? Okay, so now you already know, like West Africa and South Asia had the highest, and that was over 10 years, right? And now, you know that in North America it was 2.2 years. But now we're going with 130 countries. What do we think is that average? What do we think? So that men are older than women. What is the worldwide average? What do we think that is? What do you think at home? What's the worldwide average of men being older than women in relationships?
We talking like percentages of that the men are definitely older, or are we talking about the years again?
The years again.
Okay, so I'd say I'm sticking around the 7. I think that
7?
like 6 to 7 years is I know that's I feel like that's a comfortable without getting into the 10 to 12, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good guess.
7 years is pretty good for me.
It's a good guess. It's a good guess. And what about you at home? What do you think it is? What do you think it is? I'm going to tell you it's 4.2 years. Again, much younger than I was expecting.
Okay. That wasn't
but
bad.
That's not bad.
That's
pretty close. It's pretty close. All right, last one here. All right, and this you guys can spitfire them out in the comments, please. And if you, Christine, you come up with any spitfire, tell me, what do you think are the most notable celebrity relationships where there is a ginormous age gap? It could be the man's older or the woman's older, but just give me some notable celebrity relationships where you think have the biggest age gaps. What do you think? Can you think of any?
I'm not a pop culture enthusiast.
Oh, no.
I
Okay.
can tell you a lot of that. I mean, I know that Keanu, didn't he have with Demi, right? Demi Moore.
Oh, she was with
Keanu
Ashton
Reeves and
Kutcher.
with
Ashton Kutcher. Yep, same thing,
there we go.
whatever.
Who is it?
Two handsome young men. It's fine.
They were amazingly handsome, and she's a beautiful woman.
Yes, yes.
And it lasted. I do know that there is one that lasted, and it still is very lasting. And I don't know their names, and I apologize. So hopefully someone at home will be like, we know these beautiful people, and they're still together, and they still look at each other with this admiration and love and passion like we all want.
I mean, we can only pray. All right, so I'm going to just spitball these out to you guys so you hear right now because we got to get out of here. Al Pacino, he broke up with her. They broke up a few years back, but Al Pacino and Noor Al-Fala, there was a 54-year age difference. 54 years. That's pretty significant. We have Mick Jagger and Melanie Herrick, 44 years, and she just had his baby not so long ago. We have Cher. Do you know how old Cher is? Cher is 78.
70 something.
She looks great. She's 78. Her boyfriend, Alexander A.E. Edwards, 38. 40 years. You go, Cher. You go, Cher. All right. And the last one, I'm going to give you another lady. Does anybody remember Anna Nicole Smith? Do you remember Anna Nicole Smith? She was 26 years old when she married her husband, Howard Marshall II. He was 89. That's a big one. That is 63 years. That is 63 years. That is a very, very big one.
That's the big one. But
that's the big one of the day. That's the big one of the day. But everybody, thank you so much for watching. Christine, thank you for coming and having. Did you have fun?
Always a good time. Yes, of course, definitely.
It went by way too fast. Of course, it always does. Always goes by way too fast. But you guys, thank you so much for watching Get Wet with Marla. If you like this, please give a little heart, share it with your friends, and we will see you next week on Get Wet with Marla. Bye. All right, now to turn it off. Okay, bye-bye.